up a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor. And, of course, I am joined by Mike, our League of Legends DFS analyst and supermind. You can find him on Twitter at League of Items, as well as his YouTube channel on League of Items. How you doing this morning or afternoon, whatever the hell it is?
Doing pretty well. Didn't win money last night, but I feel like our information helped a lot of people make money. Just being able to like identify the underdogs that actually have a chance of winning is like a very profitable piece of information long term.
Right.
So like we knew LGD had a chance, we knew JDG had a chance, and lineups with those teams made money as long as they had like a winner in there too.
Yep. I had a lot of JDG in T1, and so I had a good night. Everything I made cash last night. But I only made two lineups. Lineups, but it went 2 for 2. So I'll take it. I will take that. First things first, thank you again for the overwhelming support. All of our new subscribers, welcome. I really appreciate all that. All the kind words, the feedback. It's truly appreciated. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the like button if you would, please. We're trying to get this more searched for this genre. If you search an NBA DFS, of course, my name will pop up. We want it popping up for everything.
Yeah.
So we can get the best information out there. So hit that subscribe button. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for the weekly $25 PayPal giveaway we do every Monday. I think that's really it. I do have, for those of you who are playing the NBA simulations, MLB, NFL, I do have my player pool set on Draft Dashboard. Stats and information, research data there. There's a link in the video description below. You can try that for 30 days for $1. So we got a 5-game slate tonight. Anything jump off the board early on that you want to touch on before we get into everything?
No, I think let's just go game by game.
Let's just go game by game. So again, I will remind for those of you who are new, we have 3 Chinese league games. That's called the LPL, and the other 2 games are LCK. That's the Korean league. It's important to note, we already know the starters for tonight for the Chinese league. That's already out. You can, on either one of our Twitter pages, it's already retweeted out. You can go find the starters there. For the Korean league, we again have the situation where it's a Chinese league game that's first, so we will not know the Korean league starting lineups before lock because they don't release them. So just to put that out there, we'll discuss strategy and dealing with that as we go through the video.
Yep.
Okay, our first game. I'm very disappointed in the pricing in this game. Very upset. We have Victory 5, the worst team ever, everywhere. They're just horrible. Haven't won a game yet. Against Dominus Sports. I always want to attack V5, but then I look at the pricing and they have DMO priced way the fuck up there, which really bums me out because DMO's not that good either.
Yeah. Yeah. So this matchup, the line for this game is Dominus minus 455 and V5 is DMO minus 455, which is 82%. And then V5 is plus 300, which is 25%.
Right.
So, like you said, DMO is not a very good team. It's difficult to kind of justify picking them when you have these other favorites on the slate. So DMO is going to be a contrarian play. But I think it's just going to be a bad play because Victory 5 is going to win tonight. And
for their first win of the year?
Yes. And
wow.
There's 2 reasons why I'm going to do this. First of all, I actually like some of the players on V5, and I like their style, not in the sense that like it has proven to be successful in the past, but they're willing to do some like crazy stuff. Like they make crazy champion choices. They make very aggressive decisions in the game. They're not afraid to fight you. And that's the kind of upside that you want from an underdog. So I could see this match being very high scoring. And even though their like fantasy points per game that is on DraftKings is low, it's because they lose all the time.
Right.
It's not like basketball where I can go out and drop 30 points and my team gets their ass kicked. That's just not how it works in DFS for esports, and that's why like projections in general are very difficult to like get behind. But I think that with the lineups for tonight, the only difference I'm seeing is that Mole is going to start in top lane instead of one of their other top laners. Like it's usually allies,
Right.
and Mole is normally a mid laner. So, like DraftKings finally fixed CLX and made him a mid laner, but now their top laner was a mid laner. So it's
Right.
all fucked up again.
Right.
But it's still he's still a good player, and like some people probably think to themselves, well, you know, if I was rostering a quarterback in the NFL, I don't want it to be someone who used to be a running back or used to be a wide receiver. I want my quarterback to be a quarterback.
Right.
In League of Legends, there are differentiations between the positions, but the two most similar lanes are top lane and mid lane. And there are a lot of champions that you can use in both roles. And every single player who plays League of Legends plays at least two roles, because in the ranked ladder, like how you prove yourself against other people, you have to queue up as two different positions. So everybody has some exposure to the other lane.
Right.
So I'm not concerned with him being the top laner tonight. I don't think that significantly like diminishes their chance of winning the game.
Yeah, and these are the two words. So if you're looking up the standings, I thought this was interesting. Dominus is listed as Sino Dragon. Is that their former team name or something? Sino Dragon?
Are they listed like that?
Yeah, I don't understand why, at least on the one I'm looking at. And then I went to look at the matchups, and it shows them as Sino Dragon.
If you look at it on lolesports.com, that's like the official Riot website.
Okay.
It shows their real name. So yeah, I guess they were changed.
Yeah. But again, they do have 3 wins. Victory 5 has no wins. The only enticing thing for me is I like playing teams against V5. They give up so many points when they like every team. So yeah. I just wish Dominus wasn't priced where they're at. I wish they were priced more to their ability and not who their opponent is.
Yeah. So I think the reason DraftKings released the lineups, released the salaries this way is because they take, I would assume, I don't know this for certain, but what I would assume is that DraftKings takes ownership percentages from previous slates and tweaks their salaries accordingly. So if they know that every time V5 is on a slate, the team playing against them has a bump in ownership,
right?
Then they want to increase the salary to minimize the increase in ownership.
Sure.
So I think it's interesting that Dominus is so expensive, because the initial reaction that everyone is going to have, including myself, is, well, they're too expensive. I'm not going to pick them. I can pick Dragon X, or I can pick Fun Plus Phoenix. I can pick T1. Why would I waste my time with DMO?
Right.
But there is a chance.
I'm gonna have exposure to him. I know that for a fact. Sure.
Yeah, so it's an interesting slate for that reason. I think that also means there's going to be additional value from some of the other teams that's probably surprising.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, we'll jump. Anything else this game? It's your normal thing, you know. You want to have exposure. Whoever you think's going to win, 80 carry, jungler, mid.
So I'll let everybody know the starting lineups for tonight. So it's Natural is in the top lane against Mole from Victory 5.
And
so
he's listed as a mid on DraftKings. Mole is.
Yeah. So the advantage should theoretically go to Natural. In the jungle, it's Xiao Peng and Xiaohan from Victory 5. I think that the advantage might actually be to Xiaohan on Victory 5, because he was like a really highly touted player when he was like brought into the league, and when he was like away from the team because of the coronavirus, they were continuously saying like, we need to get Xiaohan back. We need to get Xiaohan back. That's going to be how we like turn things around. So I think that he does have good upside. And then in the mid lane, Xie is not playing tonight. It's Xiao Wei for Dominus, and then it's CLX for Victory 5. I like CLX a lot because of his champion pool. I think that he plays like Orianna, which is a good DraftKings champion, and all of the other like generic champions. Orianna's a little bit more of a fringe pick, but it's a good champion to play. And I think he also plays Nico, but that might be Mole. So the fact that Victory 5 plays Nico as a team is very good for DraftKings scoring. Think about it like Invictus Gaming, because Invictus Gaming plays Nico a lot.
Right.
So that's good for us. And one thing that I would watch out for if I was playing players from V5 is I think there's a chance that CLX and Mole might swap lanes within the series, which isn't really a big deal, but it's just something that I'm going to watch out for specifically. And then Dominus versus V5 or Gala versus Y4 in the bot lane.
Right.
It's just basic 80 carry, 80 carry. All the 80 carries in this league can carry a match. It just depends on whether or not their team wins. So they both have very high upside. And then Mark versus Max, most supports are actually very good in China as well. So they have similar upside.
Gotcha. Perfect. Let's move on to our second game, Dragon X versus Damwon Gaming. Dragon X is the favorite. This is a Korean League game. This starts at 1 a.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. So again, we won't have the starters. So I'll say like I do every time. When I'm playing Korean teams, I like to, like if you look at just for the top lane, for example, for Dragon X, Duran is their only top laner. So I can feel really comfortable playing him and not have to worry about him being subbed out. I'm always like for the jungler tonight, both Canyon and Piosik are the only junglers for the team. So I can feel comfortable playing either of them and know that they're not going to be subbed out. That's kind of what I look for when I'm playing the Korean teams. At the mid, Quad hasn't played in, I can't remember how long. He's not
Very long.
Yeah, he's a couple of months. So you can feel good that Chovy's going to play. 80 carry, you just won't know with, it's probably Ghost, right, over Nuclear for Damwon Gaming.
Yeah, they've been much better with Ghost in the lineup.
Right. And then Deft is the only 80 carry. So it's important. I think that's a smart strategy to use when playing the Korean League teams to avoid zeros.
Yeah. So one piece of advice I would have is the contrarian play is almost always going to be the Korean teams, and they haven't really been hitting often in the past. So you might want to limit your exposure to that. But I think that getting exposure is still the right move. If you're putting out multiple lineups, I would still want access to one of these teams. This game specifically, I think, is probably going to be it's probably not there will probably not be as many kills in this matchup compared to the other contests on the other matchups on the slate, because Damwon Gaming has been very volatile in terms of winning and losing. They in order to beat Dragon X, you're going to need to compete with their macro strategy. So I could see both of these teams trying to out macro the other. If that's the case, I think Dragon X wins, and it's a low scoring matchup.
Sure. I will say for the record, these teams played about a month ago, March 4th. Dragon X beat Damwon Gaming 2-0. Deft at the 80 carry position had 101.04 points.
Okay.
15 kills. 14
Wow.
kills, 14 kills, 15 assists in that match.
So the difference between these two matchups is I think that their 80 carries were different. I think Damwon Gaming was still running their other 80 carry.
Nuclear?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, they were.
So it is interesting. I'm a little surprised that that's the case. Maybe that means that Damwon Gaming understands that they're not as good of a macro team as Dragon X, and they feel like they need to fight. Damwon Gaming is difficult to trust, though.
Their jungler put up 83. Piosik put up 83.88 in that game. Very high scoring game for Dragon X in that game.
Yeah. So I think traditionally when you see Dragon X, they're more similar to T1 in the way that like they kind of just can go out and dominate a team and not score as many points as like a Chinese team would, because they don't need to win that way.
Right.
And the Korean underdogs are generally more passive. They do this thing called like handshakes, where it's not actually handshakes, but like if they're losing and they're behind, they kind of play a style that says like, okay, you're winning, you can go do whatever you want. We're going to try to take the crumbs from all over the map and then come back in some kind of crazy fashion at later in the game.
Gotcha.
So Damwon Gaming is also a team that's bad at drafting, which is very scary. When they went on their 4-match win streak, a lot of people started to think like, oh, wow, they actually figured out the meta. They figured out how to like play in 2020, because last year they were a representative at World. So they're obviously a good team and they have a good foundation. But their draft last night or 2 nights ago, whenever they played on that big slate, the draft was horrible. Like it just seemed like they had no idea what they were doing. So that's going to make a lot of people less confident in picking Damwon Gaming as an underdog, and they're not my favorite underdog on the slate.
Yeah.
I think
I like
think
DRX a lot. I think I'm going to have quite a bit of exposure to DRX. I like the salary savings and the upside already showing. Their mid 80 carry and jungler had 101, 96, and 88 points in that first matchup. So even though, like you said, it's a different 80 carry, which certainly changes things, I like the upside. They've shown they're capable of putting up big points against this team, and I can get the salary relief and lower ownership. I'll have exposure.
Okay, so if I told you that Dragon X was going to be let's say you were going to make 100 lineups. If I told you Dragon X was going to be 20% owned, what percentage would you want of Dragon X?
I would probably go over. I would go 30 or 40. If I'm going to 20% ownership's pretty considerable. That's a legitimate ownership. So if I'm going to take a team and I believe in them, instead of going way under, another way to differentiate yourself is to go way over and give yourself more chances so you can have more unique combinations. And that's probably the path I would take for DRX tonight, me personally.
Okay, sure. I could see that. So in that situation, you would want like the game script that you would want is for Dragon X to create an early game lead and Damwon Gaming continuously fighting over objectives.
Right.
So in order for that to happen, in the drafts, Damwon Gaming would need to be more focused on like mid game skirmishes instead of late game team fights. And you'll see in Champion Select, like there are two ways that underdogs approach the game. So some underdogs think to themselves, we're not as good as them. We should play for the late game. And then that's going to significantly impact the champions that they choose. So that's another thing that I'm kind of afraid of with Damwon Gaming.
Gotcha.
While we start up the next game, or if you give some more information about this matchup, I'm going to look up the champion choices the last time that they played, just to see if there's anything that kind of indicates what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's great. I'll just kind of go over too. We were talking about players with backups. So like Damwon Gaming has two supports, Beryl and Hoyt. Beryl has been the guy who's been playing for the last, month and a half. So I'd expect him to be there. But again, Kyria is the only support for DRX. So I can play him with confidence and know that he's going to play. Same with their 80 carry depth. DRX makes it really easy to play them because there's not a lot of questions about who's going to play. Chovy will play over Quad. Quad has that huge average, so if people are looking at that, they might go, oh, I'm going to play him. He's not going to play. That's just not going to happen. He hasn't played since February 2nd, I think. And I think it was only one game that he played. February 7th.
Yeah.
He played one game. I don't know if that's coronavirus related or what. So yeah, I like DRX. I like DRX quite a bit. I'll probably have 0 Damwon Gaming. 0.
Okay. So I went to their match they played on March 4th. So in that series, Damwon Gaming was blue side and Dragon X was red side. So in the first game, Damwon Gaming was given Aphelios, and at that point in time, Aphelios was like by far the best champion in the game, and they still lost. So I think part of the reason they lost is because they gave up Senna. So in that matchup, it could kind of go either way.
Yeah. Well, and Dragon X is blue side this time. They're on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Damwon Gaming is going to be the power bottom for tonight's game.
They will not be the power bottom.
They're not the power bottom?
Not be the power bottom.
They're gonna Joe Exotic the shit out of that tonight. Power bottom.
So what I would say about Damwon Gaming is this is questionable. Like if you know that you're blue side and you have first pick, then with your last ban, you should probably consider banning away an overpowered champion so that you're the only team that gets an overpowered champion. What happened in this game is they may have thought to themselves, if we ban Senna, they're going to ban Aphelios, and we would rather have Aphelios and play it into the Senna matchup.
Gotcha.
So it shows that they were thinking about that, which is either a very good thing or a very bad thing, because it's good because that's good strategy. It's bad because they failed to execute it kind of extremely in the extreme. Like they gave up 18 deaths,
right,
which is horrible.
Right.
And then in game 2, it looks like they were blue side again. Were they blue side again? They may have switched sides for the second game. But they still had an okay draft, and they weren't targeting the super late game. So that makes me feel a little bit better about picking Dragon X, because it shows that Damwon Gaming might actually try to go toe-to-toe with them. So Damwon Gaming gave up 18 kills the first game, 21 kills the second game. Now, there's also two ways to look at that. They may think to themselves, okay, well, last time we tried to go toe-to-toe with them. We got our shit pushed in. Let's play for the late game.
Right. Ooh, our shit pushed in. That's a sex tape title. I think you make extra for those kinds, too. You make more than your typical sex tape if the shit gets pushed in. I'm just saying. I don't know that for a fact.
I have no idea. That's not what I'm focused on right now. What I'm focused on right now is Damwon Gaming is in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, if it's funny because if they won their last matchup going into this, a lot of people probably would have picked Damwon Gaming for a potential upset. I think that their horrible loss is going to do the opposite. So I don't know how many levels deep you have to go to convince yourself that Damwon Gaming is a good play.
Yeah.
Maybe it's as simple as they're going to try to go toe-to-toe. Maybe they get lucky and win a game or two. And if they win a game or two, they'll score a ton of points.
Right. I think we're good on that game. I think we are good on that game. We covered that game thoroughly.
Yeah, okay.
Did you sleep last night or did you stay up all night watching these damn games?
I didn't. I actually got too much sleep probably, so that's why I keep rubbing my eyes.
That's good. No, you need to get that sleep. So our third game, it's another Chinese League LPL game. We have FPX, Fun Plus Phoenix, and Victus Gaming. Fan Plus Phoenix, of course, is the favorite. They're the number 2. They're number 2 in the standings in the league right now. 9 wins, 27 points.
The most recent world champion.
Yeah, and most recent world champion. Vici Gaming 5-7. I fucking hate Vici Gaming. They piss me off so much. They do. They really piss me off. I like FPX quite a bit in this match, but they're very expensive. They're just super expensive.
Yeah, so I think that the thing that we always need to mention when Vici Gaming is playing is that they have one of the best coaches in the world. Let's see what happened the last time they played Fun Plus Phoenix, Vici Gaming.
It's been a while.
Yeah, they may have actually not played this split. It looks like they didn't play this split.
Yeah.
So Fun Plus Phoenix.
I mean, Vici Gaming has upside and are very cheap. Are they a live dog at all in this? Can you talk yourself into them winning?
I mean, they do have a really good coach, but that doesn't overcome the talent discrepancy between the two teams. I think that what they've been trying to do is to put iBoy in situations where he can kind of carry the game in late game team fights, but they often don't get there, and sometimes they put him in that position and he just fails to do anything with it.
Right. So
against Fun Plus Phoenix, it's very, very difficult to justify playing them. If I was playing 100 lineups, so there's two things that I would say. If I was playing 100 lineups and I had decent exposure to Fun Plus Phoenix, then I would want to hedge with 1 or 2 Vici Gaming stacks.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is that if you're running a lot of combinations of a different favorite, then you're probably going to want at least one lineup with Vici Gaming, just so that you have that base covered. But I think in the long run, you're going to lose more money than you win in that scenario. So if I was going to pick Vici Gaming, then I would need to convince myself that iBoy, Forge, and Aches are able to create advantages in the mid game. So it's really tough to justify putting together a stack with them.
Right.
You might want to use them as a 1-off or a 2-off. Maybe you can squeeze an extra favorite into your lineup, which would kind of increase the win percentage of your lineup, like the chance that multiple players in your lineup win.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough though. You have to do a lot of convincing. And since Khan has come back, the new top laner that Fun Plus Phoenix has, they haven't lost a game. I don't think they've lost a game.
No. Oh no, actually no, they have. Well, no, not since he came back. He's only played twice though.
Yeah.
They lost the last 2 games he played back in January. And what was interesting about that, they lost to Invictus Gaming and E-Star. He still put up 96 and 82 points in a loss.
Yeah.
He actually scored more in a loss than he did in the wins.
Yeah, so Khan is a carry player. So even if they lose 2 games to 1, he has a live chance of getting a bunch of kills in that one victory.
Right.
So that's one thing that separates him from a lot of other top laners. He's more like the Shy than
Gotcha.
a random top laner like Cube.
Gotcha. Is there any when I'm looking at this, like FPX is so expensive. So if you're trying to run like two favorites with FPX and these other expensive teams, it's going to be a jungler in the captain spot lineup getting the savings down to Tion. And he does have some upside. Does that make any sense to a jungler type captain tonight when there's so many high scoring favorites?
Well, it's really limited more by the absence of a good underdog. So it depends on how much you like V5.
Zero. I mean, very little. I know you like him, but I just can't do it. I cannot.
I think V5 has a realistic chance of winning. I think Damwon Gaming is a pretty low percentage. KT I think is a pretty low percentage to win, and then Billy Gaming is a pretty low percentage to win. So you probably will need more jungles, tops, and supports as your captains tonight, unless you're willing to take a chance on V5 or Damwon Gaming.
Right, and Khan could be a nice choice too. 9,900 in the captain spot, so he could be a decent choice.
Sure, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I think that like the reason they got Khan is because Khan is a carry player, and they want to make sure that when they get to Worlds this year, that they have a lot of different ways that they can win. Sure. So I would not be surprised if a lot of the games that they play from now until the World Championship is trying to play around Khan and like learning how to play around Khan. So the thing that's amazing about that is that they have Doinby, Doinby. He's their mid laner, and he is similar to Faker in the sense that he's willing to play champions that prioritize his teammates over himself. Right. So he's willing to go from side lane to side lane and make a large impact. So sometimes you'll see him go down, like if they're red side, he will often go down to the bot lane around the 8-minute mark when they're doing the Rift Herald trade. So they will try to get first blood in the bot lane while the enemy team takes Rift Herald. So that is a good trade for us. They are blue side though this game. So in order for them to take advantage of that, it's going to be a little more difficult. It doesn't really impact their upside or anything. It's just that's an extra avenue to score points when you're red side.
Gotcha.
So I think Doinby is a good pick tonight. And if Khan goes off, it's going to be because his jungler and his mid laner help him get far ahead.
Excellent. And one thing on this game, I just want to petition for VG to restart Chieftain. I love that name. Let's get Chieftain back. I mean, you guys fucking suck anyways. Let Chieftain play. Let's let that guy.
Chieftain. I think I like Chieftain more than Aches. Just in terms of me being able to pronounce his name and know that I'm saying it right.
Exactly. I like all the 3-letter acronym things are starting to really fuck with me when I sleep. I think I'm seeing them in my sleep, and I don't know. It's weird. Game 4, T1 and KT. T1's the obvious favorite on the blue side. It seems like T1's playing a lot. They're playing like every day. It's weird.
They
just played last night.
I haven't noticed that, but
every slate, I feels like I'm looking at Teddy and looking at Faker, and then I'm like not getting the kind of points I want out of Faker like every time. But I don't know. I mean, even in the win last night, he got 72. I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's tough. So I think that in this matchup, T1 is the obvious favorite. I don't want any exposure to KT. The last time that T1 played against KT, I'm pretty sure I won a tournament with KT or with T1 as my captain.
Oh.
So I have good memories of that. Let me just make sure that's true and I'm not.
Yeah, I can't see anything before February 26th right here. Maybe they played before that.
Yeah. So it was probably a 3-game LCK slate. So maybe it didn't even include Chinese games because February 13th, I think coronavirus was already pretty bad in China. Yeah. And they may have stopped playing for a little while.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been a 3-game slate, but they did win. They went 2-0 and they had like about 20-something team kills. Oh. So I like T1 in general. But it is a little scary to use them as your top stack.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at that, actually, I would say that the last time that recently Damwon Gaming beat T1.
Right.
And in that victory, Damwon Gaming did not score a lot of fantasy points. So I think that the similarities between DragonX and T1 make me like DragonX even less on this slate because I think it will go in that direction where if Damwon Gaming wins, it's by playing intelligently and kind of going toe to toe in the macro sense,
Gotcha.
where it's going to limit some of the team fights.
Gotcha. And T1 is one of the scarier teams to roster just because they have a backup at nearly every position. They have a sub, and they do play their subs, with the exception of like Gory. Gory is not going to play at the mid. That will be Faker.
Well,
Teddy will play AD carry, right?
I think that in one of these games coming up soon, I think that we might actually see them throw in a support or a substitute. T1 has done that in the past, where like they'll start a backup mid laner or a backup AD carry in like one game. They have done that in past years, so it is scary to roster them.
Yeah, it is. I might just for the things you're talking about, I probably won't have as there'll probably be the favorite that I have the least amount of exposure to.
Yeah,
maybe DMO, but I like the upside of DMO, just the pricing itself. But T1's not that far off in terms of price. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah,
There's
not much to say in this one. It's just T1 is so much better than KT. Yeah. If KT wins, I guess I can do it from that perspective. If KT wins, Aiming is going to be their most important player. When underdogs win, it's typically their jungler and AD carry that do the best compared to how they normally do, because in order for them to win, the jungler almost always has to create an advantage that allows their AD carry to play from ahead, which is the better way to play for fantasy points.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to our last game. Top Esports and fucking Billy Gaming. Top Esports is the obvious favorite here.
Yeah.
And Top Esports, I actually like their price down a little bit. They're not as expensive as Dominus or FPX or Dragon X. Yeah. They're a little cheaper. So I'm gravitating to that.
I'll tell you a fun story about Top Esports.
Okay.
Top Esports sucks. They're the worst team in the world. All they had to do was beat World Elite 0-2-1, and I would have won on that big slate because I had all of the Haro. I had Rogue Warriors. I did everything I was supposed to do. I'm sitting there watching this. I streamed for 7 hours. I think that I deserve a good performance from Top Esports. But instead, Top Esports just fucks me. That's all they did. They did nothing but fuck me over. So Top Esports sucks. I hate them. I'll probably have exposure to them tonight, but if they kill me again, I'm done with them forever.
Right. Like, is there a path to victory? Like, Billy Gaming isn't very good. I know that they've been a little bit better lately, but is there any path to them beating Top Esports? That can't happen, right? It just can't.
Well, I would have said something similar about World Elite beating Top Esports. So, I mean, stylistically, I think World Elite definitely had a better matchup than Top Esports because Top Esports wants teams to, like, kind of come at them and be aggressive, and they can be more of a counter puncher instead of setting up all the plays. In the matchup against World Elite, they were forced to kind of be more proactive, and they just were horrible. Like Karsa had an Elise game and was like, he was like 0-6 at one point or something. It was just insane. It was horrible to watch. Billy Gaming, when they are winning, have they had any series where they score over 100 points? I don't think so. So they beat DMO
in the last game, yeah, and against World Elite as well.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. If they beat World Elite, then they can beat Top Esports. Well, that's the only thing you need to understand. Top Esports and World Elite, very similar play styles. If Billy Gaming can beat World Elite, they could theoretically beat Top Esports. The argument for it not being able to happen is that Top Esports is like significantly more talented in that kind of play style than World Elite. But after them playing each other, it's tough to even think that.
Right.
But then
still no Jackie Love, right? Still no Jackie Moon for Top Esports, right? Fodic is still in the starting lineup. Did I see that right?
You did. I
can't wait for Jackie Love to play. Jackie Moon, I love that name. I think that's my favorite name. Him and Chieftain, those are my two favorite names right now. I love the Jackie Love name. I just think Jackie Moon. I'm gonna watch that movie. I'm watching Semi Pro today. I'm going to at some point today watch Semi Pro because of this guy who's not even playing. So
yeah, he was. Fodic was horrible.
Yeah, but he's starting today, right? On the starting lineups, I know I looked at it, but I can't remember. So Fodic is still there, but if they lose the first game, I could see a scenario where they're like, "All right, dude, time to get in Jackie Moon. Get the hell out of here."
I mean, I think that's possible.
And then he's gonna
I think
sing
it's
"Love Me
unlikely, but
Sexy"
it's
while he's
possible.
playing. I wanna love me sexy. It's been a while.
Kotick, like it's honestly unbelievable how bad he was in the other game.
Right.
In the bot lane, Top Esports versus World Elite, they died, I think, in back-to-back games, 2v2, which should almost never happen. Like that's very rare. Well, not very rare. It's rare in professional matches. Like 5% of games probably have a solo kill in the bot lane or less.
Oh wow.
So that's a bad thing to have happen. It means that either their decision making was horrible or they got outplayed.
Gotcha. I could make an argument if we're talking about playing favorites and jungler captains. I think Karsa is one of the better jungler captains with the upside.
He is.
On
I mean, I'm
tonight's slate.
mostly joking when I say that I hate Top Esports and that
Right.
I'll never play them again.
Right.
But at the same time, they scare the shit out of me now, and I'm never going to feel as good about playing them as I did before.
Right.
Like previously, whenever I saw them on a slate, I was just like, okay, I'm playing Top Esports at least a little bit because they're very good.
Right.
So
Well, hopefully people are like you and got burned by them the other night, drives down that ownership, and some asshole like me who comes in and stacks them up is
Yeah.
going to take all the money. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so I think you're trying to trick me into playing 20 Top Esports lineups, and then it's just going to not work again.
And then I'm going to stack Billy Gaming all night, and then I'm going to win again. No, I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not
that would
playing
be
Billy
upsetting.
Gaming. I fucking hate that team too. I'm not playing them. I don't care. I
Word.
don't care. But in terms of like underdogs who have a chance, where would you rank Billy Gaming in the slate?
They are either second or third.
Oh, okay.
I honestly think Victory Gaming is the best underdog on the slate.
Against
I think-
FPX.
Yeah, I think Damwon Gaming has. I think that Victory 5 could probably win this matchup between 30 to 35% of the time. I think that Damwon Gaming can win their matchup between 10 to 20, and then Billy Gaming is probably 10 to 20.
Right. And then the biggest long shots are, of course, KT and V5. Right.
Vici. So Vici and KT are the two that I'm afraid of the most.
Right.
Like
Not
I don't
V5.
think.
I'm trying to talk you out of losing your money on V5. I'm trying to talk you out of it.
Nope, I'm
That'll
definitely
be-
going to have some exposure to V5.
I hope
Like,
they
in
win.
order-
That'll be awesome to predict their first win of the year.
in order for us to have access to a lot of these captains, we're going to need to include an underdog. So even for that reason alone, from like a lineup construction perspective, you can justify playing V5.
Sure.
And all it takes is them having like one win in that match.
Right.
So I think that when we look,
They've got one win and like
yeah.
it's ugly.
But if you look at it, if you look at their most recent matches or whatever, when they played against LNG and they brought CLX in like as a support, and he like kind of went between support and mid lane, he scored 70 points. So
Right.
I think that Dominus is more similar to LNG than anybody else. If you look at the last 4 matches that Victory 5 has played, they played against Rogue Warriors, who isn't a great team, but we saw them just play really well against a good team. FPX, which is a great team, so it's tough to beat them. Nobody's going to be no one should expect to do well against FPX. No one should expect to do well against RNG, Invictus Gaming. Sunning they lost to, which was a problem. Like that makes me feel bad, but I still think that compared to LNG and Sunning, Dominus is probably
Worse.
about even or a little worse.
Yeah. I get
So
it.
I do like Victory 5.
That makes sense. All right. Before we get out of here, I guess you want to do your top 3 favorites and underdogs. You kind of touched on your underdogs. My top 3 favorites, I like FPX, Top Esports, and Dragon X. That's where I'm at right now for my top 3 favorites.
Yeah, I like FPX. FPX is tough because I know that they're so much better than everybody. I just expect them to turn out one of these performances where they don't score as many points as they should. But with Khan in the lineup, I feel like they are like purely motivated by actually improving, actually trying new things on the map and getting better for Worlds. So that makes me think that there are a lot of scenarios where Khan does really well, Duanby does really well, Tian does really well.
Right.
So I do think that they are my favorite still. The ownership is going to be scary, I think, for them.
Right.
I like Dragon X more than T1, I think, even though I do have that good feeling about T1 from the last time they played KT. Right. And then Top Esports, if top esports didn't just break my heart, they would probably be my number one or number two favorite.
It takes 18 months to recover from a broken heart. When a
Yeah,
woman
well, I
breaks,
have a broken heart, so I'll see you in 8.
and then if you fall in love again, like a short little dating thing, and then you restart all the way over. Like I've been trying to tell my buddy this in here. He's got to let the emotions go. Talk to from a bachelor of 10 years. I mean, I've had a couple little small time girlfriends, but never any emotion. Got to put up that wall, use the force.
Great advice. Great advice.
There you go.
Great
There you go.
advice.
That's the secret to that's the secret to no gray hair when you're almost 40. That's the secret right there.
Not bad.
All right. Well, that's our look at our slate. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be part of the weekly drawing. Don't forget to check out Mike's channel, League of Items. There'll be a link to his YouTube channel in the video description. You can become a Patreon, get his sheet.
Yep.
People are kicking ass with that sheet.
Yeah. So what I would say is, if you want to figure out whether or not you should use the sheet, you should ask yourself, do I want to have access to 4,500 lineups, all of my picks for the night in terms of like actual sports betting, access to individual like private streams. I did a private stream last night for my patrons where they were able to ask me questions directly. And do you want to hear a new theme song? Because
oh yes, the theme song.
Due to the support of my patrons, I was so inspired that I created a new theme song, which is going to be debuting tonight on my new videos.
The talent level in the theme song is unbelievable.
It's not the finished product, but it is very good for a first run.
If you would have told me that 3 white boys made that song, I actually would have been kind of surprised. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Well, I am half Mexican, and so is my brother.
Okay,
so
well, there you go. So there's
that
that.
explains it.
So
Maybe that explains it, but it definitely doesn't.
Yeah. No, it gives it a little flavor. It gives it some more talent.
Yeah.
Like, you know, us white
Next time
boys.
we'll do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
The next one that we make will be in Spanish.
Oh, I
That'll
bet you
be
that
awesome.
that would be awesome. I watch a lot of soccer games Spanish announce. Not the I can't I like, even though I understand. Yeah, I can speak a little Spanish, but anyways, that's our video. Again, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Be sure to check out Mike, and he's got lots of stuff I know coming up today. Short videos, recaps of last night, different sports betting, stuff like that. Appreciate y'all again. May the fantasy gods be with you all tonight. Good luck. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, folks.
Adios.